Alright, John Kohler with OKRaw.com, and we got an opening shot here. We're on the San Francisco Bay, beautiful Marin County, California, on the coast here. And today, we're going to be talking about seaweed, hopefully before the sun goes down. And you can see I come out here oftentimes at low tide, and today happens to be just one of those times that I came out here and it happens to be high tide. But if we were at low tide, what we'd see is all these rocks exposed, and you could see right in the waves there some kelp, brown kelp actually floating around. And if it was low tide, the kelp would be exposed. You'd see all these rocks, and you actually hike on the rocks and more easily harvest the kelp because it's high tide. It's a lot more difficult to do so. So we're going to talk about kelp in a little bit, and you're going to learn a lot more today about brown kelp. And kelp today we have these things. Actually, it's called Sea Tangle Noodle Company Kelp Noodles. And these kelp noodles says great for salad, healthful, delicious, easy to prepare, and fun to eat. Made with mineral-rich sea kelp, low in carbs and calories, and fat-free, ready to eat, neutral taste. And it says on there a raw food. It says product of USA, net weight 12 ounces. So basically it says kelp noodles are a sea vegetable in the form of an easy-to-eat noodle made of only kelp, a sea vegetable, sodium alginate, sodium salt extracted from brown seaweed and water. Kelp noodles are fat-free, gluten-free, and very low in carbohydrates and calories. So here's the nutrition facts. It's basically total fat 0, saturated fat 0, cholesterol 0, sodium 1%, total carbs 1 gram, dietary fiber 1 gram, vitamin A 0, vitamin C 0, iron 4%, and calcium 15%. So there's not a whole lot of nutrition in these kelp noodles, in my opinion. So I've been seeing this company at the different trade shows for some time now. I've often asked them about these noodles, and they give me very shy answers. So I figured I'd look into this myself more, and we'll go ahead and rip this package open here of the kelp noodles. How do these things that look like this, right? These are kelp noodles, and we're looking at basically on the bay of San Francisco Bay, and we're looking at brown kelp right here. So this is the kelp right here that I just pulled up. How does this stuff get to look like this stuff? Come on, let's think about that. These are not 100% kelp. I mean, this is 100% kelp. If you want to make noodles out of this and eat this stuff, that's great. But if you're eating this stuff, and you think you're getting kelp noodles, you got another thing coming to you. Maybe I got a Golden Gate Bridge to sell you too. So let's go ahead and see what's in the kelp noodles here. So the ingredients are water. So we have water all around. Hopefully it's purified water. Kelp. And I mean, once again, the kelp noodles look nothing like this kelp here. And the final ingredient is sodium alginate. So the main thing is, we know what water is, we know what kelp is. This is kelp. The noodles do not, look like the kelp here. The last ingredient is sodium alginate. So the question is, what is sodium alginate? So did some research there, and sodium alginate is a white powder. Probably looks something like this white powder here. So we have kelp noodles, white powder, and real kelp here. So this white powder, also known as sodium alginate, what they do is they take this kelp, brown kelp, and they basically put it through some kind of process involving probably heat, also possibly including chemicals and, pressure. And they're basically somehow taking this kelp and extracting it into this white crystalline powder. So, number one, a white crystalline powder is not a whole food. It does not recognize or does not look like kelp or anything like that. It does not even resemble kelp, a white crystalline powder. So the question is, why are we putting it into our bodies? There are no raw labeling laws, and this says a raw food. So people say, oh, I'm raw. Oh, it says raw, I can eat it. But they don't look into these things, and it really bothers me because the nutrition on this is hardly nothing. I've had friends say this stuff tastes like plastic unless you soak it really well. Well, hey, if it tastes like plastic, well, what do you think it is then? So, let's think about this. If you want to eat kelp noodles, let's go down to the ocean and get some real kelp or get some dried kelp. I mean, the other thing is, you know, if you buy kelp flakes, they're green and they taste really, really fishy. These things have no taste, so if the second ingredient is kelp and it's not tasting fishy, you know, they're doing some processing and it's not maybe raw and not as natural as we want it. You know, the whole point of the raw foods diet is to eat, you know, fresh, ripe, whole foods, including fruits and vegetables and definitely some seaweed. You see later that I had a clip, you know, I was in a health food store and I had fucus tips. And actually, I'll show you, these are the fucus tips. So, you know, here we have the leaves of kelp, and this is the actual kelp. And on the ends of the kelp, there's these like little things that are a little like puffy and bubbly. And you take these and I just pinch them off like this, and I'll dehydrate this. And when you dehydrate it, hey, it looks like a little mermaid tail. But when you dehydrate it, it becomes like puffy. So the only thing I can talk to you, it reminds me of is like corn puffs when I was a kid, you know. If you dehydrate this and eat this, it's like corn puffs. It's really good, has a nice salty flavor, and this is real, you know, seaweed. This is what we should be eating. I mean, if you did want to do something like these noodles that are some seaweed, you could try something called, like, I think it's called e-weed, and it should be new. It's coming out in the marketplace, and to my knowledge, so far, that's 100% seaweed. The other thing you could try also is something called, I think it's called sea spaghetti, and that's some other kind of seaweed actually too, that just comes in long strands, and it's not highly processed like these, you know, Sea Tangles, you know, kelp noodles that are totally processed and in my opinion should not be included in a raw food diet. So, hope you've learned something from this episode, and I'll have a lot more information coming from myself. Be sure to visit my website, okraw.com, for more information about me and what I'm trying to teach people. Thank you.